motorcycle pegs. Yes!
Guys, they're finally here. The ARASHI rear sets for my Z900. Look at 2017. And the pegs on this thing, just a little too old manish. So I didn't want to spend a ton of money on rear sets. Got these for about 150 bucks on Amazon, and I'm really impressed with the quality. Super nice packaging, which I was surprised. Usually things that come direct from China, they come in what's looked like comes from the supermarket deli, but look at this stuff. I really don't mind Chinese stuff. I got Harbor Freight, everything in this garage, not Snap-on, Nap-on. So I'll give them a try, see how they work. Hopefully they don't fail at just the wrong moment. But they seem like super nice quality. Definitely ball bearings in there. Adjustability all around. And they got all the nuts and bolts ready to go. Get the toe pieces here, linkage. The actual pegs, I'm not too certain I like this style on the left side there where it I don't know, kind of angles up and then has a full circle in the end. We'll see. Maybe I'll take the grinder to it. And the other side. These things are pretty sweet. Curious how the install will go. But let me move some stuff here. I got the Humvee in the garage here, and it's pretty tight space. So let me back that thing out, get this baby on the lift, and we'll get to it. All right, got the Z900 up here in the lift. She's ready to go. As you can see, I've got other Chinese parts on this, like my SC Racing exhaust on there. I just needed to get rid of the giant can that was on there that weighed 1,000 pounds. Don't need major horsepower. This thing's like a cruiser anyways. So works for me, straight from China. Thing's awesome. Sounds good, not too loud. This thing absorbs all the sound anyway, so it's just enough. And just like this, I'm gonna have my Chinese pegs on here and get rid of these rubberized things. These remind me of, I don't know, like a BMW or something with an old guy on it cruising around. So I just need to get rid of those things. I come off full-on sport bikes, so being on this thing where it's more of a naked bike sitting up, that's already less sport than I wanted anyways, but I've kind of pushed the bars forward, got rid of the big mirrors, did a couple things to make it sportier, and now the rear sets are the final piece, and then I'll just ride it and enjoy it. I got a super ridiculous deal on this thing from a guy who needed to dump it quick with like 50 miles on it, so I scooped it. Normally I'm into GSXRs and R6s and everything else. So kind of making this something that fits my style more. So let's take out all the parts that took like 2 months to get here and finally assemble them on the Z900. So one thing to note, there were no instructions with this. It just has all the nuts and bolts previously inserted with rubber washers, bands on there. Keep everything where it is. Hopefully they just kind of line up and the bolts go in the holes. I'm not really sure, but I have a feeling that's how it's going to work. And the bolts just go right into the stock holes. So first, let's take off all of this and disconnect everything, and then we'll get into putting it back together. So there we have it. That was about 15 minutes and I got that thing on there. It's not bad. They look pretty good too. So much better than stock. These giant old things. Look at those. So these came on the highest up and furthest back setting, which I'll probably like because I'm used to full-on sport bikes anyways. And everything seems to work good. There's tons of adjustability everywhere, so I'm gonna have to get on it, sit on it, take it for a ride, see how everything feels, make sure it all works right. So shifter side's done. Let's move on to the brake side. We're over here on the brake side, and you can see the difference between the big old honking piece of rubber and what we're gonna put on here. And one of the main reasons I got this brand, ARASHI, was that they claim that the brake light switch on these Kawasaki Z900s will activate with the factory switch. So we're going to put this on, see how it works. Supposedly, this is where it mounts up right here. So let's see how that works. So there we have it. The ARASHI rear sets installed. They look pretty sweet. And they're actually pretty comfortable. My feet fit just right. It took a little while to get the spring set up for the brake light, but that seems to be okay now. That's all set. The master cylinder mounts right up there. Everything looks pretty good. Everything went pretty easily. It's been just about an hour now to install both sides. Made sure to Loctite everything. Every single bolt was loose. When you get them, they're all in place, but they're all loose. So everything needed Loctite, and it tightened right up, and everything fit pretty mint, sweet. So the foot position for me is perfect. It feels more like a real sport bike rather than, you know, like a touring bike or a commuter, you know. So as you can see, there's plenty of holes for adjustment, but everything lined right up. I just gotta take it for a test ride now and make sure it shifts right. And I might need to adjust the linkages and stuff like that, but otherwise, I'm pretty happy with them. They look pretty good.